is we can emphasize something by drawing the viewer's eyes to a particular part of our artwork. Okay, so when you emphasize something, you make that thing the focal point. How can you make something a focal point? You need to introduce a pop of something to draw someone's attention to that area. Okay, so for instance, if I was designing my living room or my bedroom, and my whole bedroom had like beiges and grays and whites, right, and maybe like a light blue color on the wall, very relaxed, very monotone, and then I decided to throw really bright pink pillows on my bed. Anybody that walked into my bedroom or living room would immediately look at the couch or the bed because there's these bright pink pillows sitting there, and I don't see a bright, vibrant color anywhere else in the room. So the introduction of that very different color is going to draw everybody's eyes there, is going to make that the focal point, is going to emphasize the couch or emphasize the bed, right? So we could do that in any kind of design. We can draw the viewer's eyes or control where somebody, what part of our artwork somebody ends up looking at more intensely by introducing a pop of something new and something different only in that area. Okay, so here what you could have done is you could have drawn a picture of anything. Okay, absolutely anything. What can I draw a picture of? Make up a random scene for me. Maybe a field of flowers. Okay, I'm just going to do a random design with a bunch of okay, tell me where your eye goes to in this drawing. Yep. Right? The tulip-looking flower. Why? What about is it different? What element is different? So it has an outline and it's 2D. So what is that? Yes, good. Okay. So we went from a shape that was like kind of like a cloud and that was repeated everywhere, and bam, now there's this different shape in the picture. That alone makes everybody's eyes go to it because that is the only flower that is different. I could show this drawing to a million different people and they're always going to tell me my eye goes to that flower because there's something different about it. I've emphasized this flower. I've made it the focal point by making it a bit different, okay? What's a different way to do it? If not with shape, okay, pretend now all of my flowers are the same. We're going to go back to all of them being the same. How can I emphasize one of my flowers? Yeah. Good. I could color it in. Okay, now everybody's eye is always going to go to the one that is colored in. Or maybe it's going to be a field of yellow flowers. Maybe it's a picture that already has color in it. And I can't really choose one area to add a pop of color. Maybe it's already a colored picture. How can I emphasize this colored picture? Yep. Yep.
Make it flowers bigger.
Good. Size. I could make one of the flowers bigger. So now I have this giant yellow flower here. Okay, so now everybody that looks at this picture, their eye is going to look at all of the flowers, but bam, I'm eventually going to go back to the one that is different in size, right? Okay, or let's ignore it. Let's pretend that they're all the same. What's a different way to emphasize a colored picture of flowers if I wanted to make one of them pop? Other than making it larger. This works, but how else? Yep. Yep, I could do a different color flower. Okay, now your eyes will move around the picture, but they're always going to end up here. Okay, what is a different way? Let's ignore all of these. We still have a bunch of yellow flowers filling the page. How do I make one of them stand out? I can space it differently. I can use the power of space. So say I have a bunch of yellow flowers stacked together here. Okay, I can remove one and put it here. It's off growing on its own. If somebody looks at this picture, everybody's always going to end up looking at this one because it's got all of this negative space around it, right? So the power of space to emphasize. Do you see what I'm doing? So basically you're always controlling the picture and you're always controlling how someone is looking at the picture or what part of the picture you want to stand out more by, again, introducing something that is different, whether it's a different shape, right? Like initially, I just used a simple different shape or a different color or a different size or a different spacing, okay? Okay, let's ignore all of those. How else could I emphasize the flower? How about with the power of line? So I have all of these tiny little stems, right? Maybe I were to draw a thick stem on this one. Now my eye is going to be directed to this flower because of this strong use of line here, while all the other lines are like very soft, right? So playing around with an element to make one specific part the focal point or the focus, okay, is using the principle of emphasis. Does that make sense? So you have to come up with some kind of picture where one part of your picture pops somehow because you've emphasized it, either with careful use of line or careful use of shape or careful use of color or careful use of texture, and so on. You've introduced something new to that area, okay?